Good evening, Cleveland and Columbus sports fans. You're listening live to the show of the land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tonight, we're going to start things off with some basketball. We're going to wrap up the college basketball tournament information. Is there anybody left in Northeast Ohio in the tournament? Stay tuned to find out. Then we will talk about the Cavs and how things are going with them. What are the playoffs looking like? We'll talk about the wrap-up to the Charges season. Then we will talk some volleyball with the Columbus Fury. Is change always a good thing? And then we will talk about some Ohio teams that made it into the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Tournament. We will then get into some hockey. The Blue Jackets on a winning streak? What? We'll talk about how the Monsters are doing. We'll get into a little bit of football news. We'll talk about the Crew. And we will wrap things up with some baseball. So stay tuned for all of that and more. Before we get started with the sports news tonight, let's give a shout out to our sponsors. Our first sponsor is Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, the single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. You can follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky and can place your orders on their website, planetjerky.net. All orders of $50 or more get free shipping, so place your order today. Our second sponsor is Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. And you can follow them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps. And you can also find them on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Stamps. Now a little about IE Sports Radio. For the last almost 10 years, IE Sports Radio has brought you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, check out our daily updated website, iesportsradio.com. For sports news, the IE Sports Radio blog. You can find my latest blog there. Our Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month, pages dedicated to each podcast. Our IE Sports Radio community forum, and stop by the shop and check out the merch. Thank you for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. Now for some basketball. So let's start out with some college basketball. Tuesday night in the men's NIT, number 2 Ohio State men's basketball took on number 4 Georgia. At the half, Ohio State was down 36-35, and they ended up losing 79-77 after a missed buzzer beater that would have won the game. So their season was ended there, and they were the last team in this area left in any of the NCAA basketball tournaments. So, wah, wah, wah. Anywho, Ohio State men's basketball's Jameis Battle was invited to the Haynes Men's Three-Point Championship at Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, which will take place on Thursday. So good luck to Jamison Battle. Mount Union women's basketball's Lily Sweeney, Day Nash, and Michaela Dunkel have been named a CSE Academic All-District Team. And the NCAA Women's Final Four will be held in Cleveland this week at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, home of the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Cleveland Monsters. The Final Four games will take place on Friday. Number 1 South Carolina will be playing number 3 NC State at 7 p.m. Eastern, and number 1 Iowa will be playing number 3 UConn at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So that's right, guys. Caitlin Clark is coming to Cleveland. And she's pretty darn excited about it. I saw her post on the X earlier today regarding that. Now for some Cavs news. Donovan Mitchell was working towards a return and was hoping to return as early as Friday. Spoiler alert, he did. Shout out to Ralph, who just jumped in the chat. He says hello before he goes out to dinner and says have a great show. Thank you, Ralph, and enjoy your dinner. Ralph is the host of the Yinzer Report, which will be back next Tuesday. He is currently on vacation with his family, so I hope he is having a wonderful time. And we look forward to catching the Yinzer Report next week at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. Max Strus returned to the lineup on Wednesday, and the Cavs took on the Charlotte Hornets in Charlotte. The starting 5 were Darius Garland, Max Strus, Isaac Okoro, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. At the end of 1, the Cavs were up 43-33. At the half, they were up 70-69. The end of 3, they were down 100-96, and they ended up losing 118-111. I did not get to watch this game because I was at my daughter's choir concert. But I did catch the very end, so I got to watch them lose. So that was exciting. Not so much. But Jarrett Allen led with 24 points, and Darius Garland recorded a double-double with 14 points and 12 assists. But they lost to the freaking Charlotte Hornets. Unbelievable. So disappointing, especially this close to the playoffs. Anyway, they then, following the expiration of the 10-day contract with Marcus Morris, have signed him for the remainder of the season. So congratulations to him. He has been quite helpful so far, though the Cavs can't seem to figure out how to win anymore. But every time he comes in, he gets things going, and he's hitting threes. So that is definitely helpful, and hopefully the team can get their chemistry back on track and get everybody back out on the court so they can actually be competitive when they get to the playoffs. Thursday, they took on the Philadelphia 76ers. Donovan Mitchell made his return. But Karis LeVert was out with a sore right wrist. Craig Porter was also out with an illness. The starting 5 were Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. And at the end of one, the Cavs were up 28-25. At the half, they were up 57-55. At the end of three, they were down 87-85. And they ended up winning 117-114. So, you heard this right. They lost to the Charlotte Hornets, but they beat the Philadelphia 76ers. Go figure. George Niang led with 25 points. Jarrett Allen, Darius Garland, and Evan Mobley all had double-doubles. Jarrett Allen with 13 points and 11 rebounds. Darius Garland with 14 points and 12 assists. Seems to be a theme this week for Darius Garland. Evan Mobley with 20 points and 11 rebounds. Then Sunday, they were in Denver to take on the Nuggets. Karis LeVert was active. Isaac Okoro was out with a sore toe. And Craig Porter Jr. still out with an illness. The starting five were Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. At the end of one, they were down 30-26. The end of the half, 65-56. At the end of three, 101-77, and they lost 130-101. Yikes. Not a good showing. Not a good showing at all. And Donovan Mitchell had some colorful words to say following the game. Basically said they need to get their crap together and figure it out. Their next games are tonight against the Utah Jazz, and the announcements for who's in and who's out have already been made. Donovan Mitchell will be out. It's a maintenance day for his knee injury. They are on the first night of a back-to-back, so most likely he'll play tomorrow. Craig Porter Jr. is still out with an illness. Isaac Okoro still out with his toe injury, and Dean Wade still out with his ankle injury. Wednesday, they will take on the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix. Saturday and Sunday, they are in LA. Saturday against the Lakers, and Sunday against the Clippers. Jarrett Allen has been named a finalist for the NBA Sportsmanship Award, and George Niang has been named a finalist for the Twyman Stokes Teammate of the Year Award. So good luck and congratulations to both of them. Patty Bax and Angela Winstead have joined us in the chat, so welcome, ladies, and thank you for joining us. Patty is the host of the Buffalo Huddle, which will be right after me at 7 p.m. Eastern, and Angela is the I don't know what the word is that I don't know what your word to use. The glue that holds us all together. She takes care of sending out all those announcements for when the shows are and all of that stuff, and the merchandise shop and all kinds of things behind the scenes. Without her, we couldn't get everything done, and we wouldn't have everything out there for everybody to see and come find us. So thank you for all that you do, Angela. And Patty, I look forward to your show right after mine. The Charge finished up their season this past week. Wednesday, they took on the Windy City Bulls, and they won 103-98. Isaiah Mobley led with 23 points. Sharif Cooper had a double-double with 14 points and 10 assists. And Ferran Hunt also had a double-double with 20 points and 12 rebounds. Thursday, they played the Grand Rapids Gold, and they won 105-86. Isaiah Mobley led with 21 points, and Sharif Cooper again had a double-double with 15 points and 10 assists. Saturday, they were at the Birmingham Squadron, and they lost 123-107. Isaiah Mobley led with 20 points and also recorded a double-double with 10 rebounds. The Charge finished the season at 15-19 in 11th place in the East. Not the greatest season. However, they also did not have quite a few of their best players sporadically throughout the season due to the Cavs having so many injuries. So they did what they could. But it was a little disappointing considering that they did win the Summer League. But, it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. We'll see what the Charge have in store for us next season. They do have some draft picks in the G League draft, and they did acquire a few new players towards the end of the season, so they can work on building up some chemistry with them over the off season and hopefully come back stronger next year. Now on to some volleyball. The Columbus Fury. Asia O'Neal was named Player of the Week for Week 9 with 34 points on 30 kills, 2 aces, and 2 blocks in 2 matches. So congratulations to Asia O'Neal. She is the second Fury player to be named Player of the Week. Reagan Cooper was named Player of the Week a few weeks ago. Wednesday, the Fury took on the Atlanta Vibe, and they ended up losing 3-0 in a 3-set sweep. Set 1, they lost 25-16, set 2, 25-15, and set 3, 25-17. So not the greatest showing. And again, I did not get to watch that match because I was at my daughter's choir concert. It was the longest concert ever. It really was. But it was nice. They had multiple schools at this concert. It was 3, I want to say. I don't remember. It was 3 or 4 elementary schools, and then 2 of the high school choirs performed, and then my daughter's choir, which was the middle school choir. So it was at least 2 hours long, and usually her concerts are like 30 minutes. So that was a little unexpected, but it's her last one, so before she moves on to the big ol' high school next year. The Fury took on the Orlando Valkyries on Friday. They lost set 1, 25-19. The Fury started out strong and led to 15, but the Valkyries then went on an 8-0 run. And the Fury could just couldn't recover. They ended up losing set 2, 25-15. Nicoletta made her debut, so it was nice to see her out on the court. And she did have a couple of kills, I believe. Or she at least attempted a couple. I don't remember if she got points on them, but she definitely attempted a couple. Set 3, they lost 25-17. So 2 3-set sweeps this past week. Not the greatest week for the Fury. So this week they will be playing Sorry, I just had a pop-up. Try to get rid of it so it doesn't try and shut down my computer on me. Anyway, next matches, they will be playing Thursday at the Omaha Supernovas and Sunday at at the San Diego Mojo. They have not played the San Diego Mojo yet, so I will be interested to see that match. Thursday Can you hear me now? Sorry, guys. I accidentally hit mute when I was trying to close the pop-up. I am back, but the Fury has had Tori Stringer in there now for a couple of matches as the setter. So I'm hoping that they will find their groove again and get back to their winning ways. Them beating Atlanta last week was huge. So if they can find what they found that day, I think they can beat anybody. So we'll see, but not the greatest week for the Fury. So now for some college or women's gymnastics. NCAA women's gymnastics tournament is starting this week, and Ohio State and Kent State will be competing on Thursday. So good luck to both of those teams. We will see if they are able to move on to the next round. They are not ranked, and they are in, if I remember correctly, I don't think they are in the same. Hold on. Let me pull it up. I don't think they are in the same bracket. I mean, they're on the same side of the bracket, but I don't think they're in the same grouping. But hold on, let me just double check that because I might be mistaken. No, they are not in the same grouping. So hopefully both of them can move on to the next round. But we will keep an eye on that, and I will give you an update on how they fared next week. But that is going to wrap things up for all things basketball, volleyball, and gymnastics. I am going to take a short break, and when I come back, we will talk hockey, football, and soccer. So stay tuned to the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey sports fans, are you in the market for Florida sports or just keeping up with the latest in the Panhandle? Palm Tree Sports is a dedicated audio hub to all things sports in the Sunshine State. We cover current events, big news, heavily favored opinions all across the NFL, NBA, MLB, and so much more. So come check us out every Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a down south education on Florida sports and athletics. It's hosted by yours truly, Corey Pujols, and is powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
IE Sports Radio fans, it's your boy, the SoCal Saint, the host of the premier professional wrestling podcast online today, the IE Elite Wrestling Show. If you're a fan and have a passion for the world of professional wrestling, this is the show for you. I take you inside the ropes with all the athleticism, high-flying, and hard-hitting action, and then we take it backstage with all the backstage drama and backstabbing that goes on in the world of professional wrestling today. If something's going on in the world of professional wrestling, rest assured, the SoCal Saint knows what's going on, and he's going to let you know too. If you're a fan, check us out every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, only on IE Sports Radio. The IE Elite Wrestling Show, your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling, on the only network that is your direct feed for all that is sports. Check us out.
You're back live with Jen B on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And Taryn in the chat says the Fury need Reagan Cooper to go off. I agree. She has been quite silent the last few matches. Asia O'Neil has done her share. As I said earlier, she was Player of the Week last week. So she has done her share, but we definitely need Reagan Cooper to get back in the swing of things. And that would definitely go a long way to getting the Fury back on track. But now let's get into some hockey. So the Columbus Blue Jackets on a Tuesday played the Arizona Coyotes in Arizona. James Malatesta played in his first NHL game. Matthew Olivier and O'Brien threw gloves down less than 2 minutes in to the game. And then Boone Jenner scored a power play goal, and the Blue Jackets were up 1-0 at the end of one. In the second, the Coyotes scored a power play goal, and then Josh Doan scored his first NHL goal for the Coyotes. And then Zach Werenski scored a power play goal for the Blue Jackets, and it was tied at 2 at the end of 2. In the third, Doan scored his second NHL goal, putting the Coyotes up 3-2. And then the Coyotes just kept on scoring, and the final score was 6-2 Coyotes. Boo. Taryn says Megan Courtney Lush has been solid for the Fury. She has in all areas. She is the only thing that kept them in some of those matches for a good portion of them. She's all over the place. On Thursday, the Blue Jackets took on the Pittsburgh Penguins in Pittsburgh. It was a 0-0 at the end of the first period. Matthew Olivier and Cole Sillinger both scored goals in the second, and the Penguins also scored 2. And at the end of 2, it was 2-2. And they ended up losing 3-2. The Blue Jackets then reassigned Tyler Angle back to Cleveland and added Cameron Butler on an emergency recall due to an illness. Boone Jenner was out with an illness. Matthew Olivier scored a shorthanded goal, putting the Blue Jackets up 1-0. Wait, I'm confused. Oh, Saturday. They played the Penguins. Sorry, I skipped that line. On Saturday, they played the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Matthew Olivier scored a shorthanded goal, putting them up 1-0. And then the Pens got 2 in the second, and the Blue Jackets were down 2-1 at the end of 2. Then the Penguins got another goal, and then Kirill Marchenko scored a goal, and then Zach Werenski scored a goal to tie it up at 3. So at the end of 3, it was tied at 3. At the end of overtime, it was still tied at 3. So it went to the shootout. Alexander Texier scored a goal in the shootout, and then the Pens tied it up, and it was tied 1-1 at the end of the first 3. So the shootout went into extra shots. Damon Severson scored the final shootout goal, giving the Blue Jackets the win 4-3 in the shootout. The Blue Jackets then recalled Jet Greaves from the Monsters on an emergency recall. There has not been any definitive word on why that was done, but it has something to do with Elvis Merce Lincoln. Surprise, surprise. Don't know what's going on with him because they haven't said anything yet, but he is out and Jet Greaves is with the Blue Jackets for now. Last night, the Blue Jackets played the Colorado Avalanche again, this time in Columbus, and at the end of 1, it was 0-0. In the second period, Kirill Marchenko scored a goal, and Alex Nylander scored 2 goals. So at the end of 2, the Blue Jackets were up 3-0. Then the Avalanche got a goal in the third. Cole Sillinger finished things off with an empty netter. And the Blue Jackets won 4-1. Daniil Tarasov had 46 saves. Amazing game by him. And I was so sad when the Avalanche scored that goal because I so badly wanted him to get the shutout. But it was not to be. So 4-1 it is, and the Blue Jackets are on a 2-game winning streak now that they're eliminated from the playoffs, because that's the way we roll in Ohio. That's the way we roll. Their next games are Thursday against the New York Islanders, Saturday against the Philadelphia Flyers, and Sunday in Carolina against the Hurricanes. And the Blue Jackets reassigned Jake Christensen back to Cleveland. So I would assume that means somebody is coming back from injury, but they haven't said who yet. So we'll find out eventually. The Monsters did not fare so well this past week. Wednesday, they played the Grand Rapid Griffins and lost 5-2. Cole Clayton and Mitchell Lewandowski scored the goals. It was Lewandowski's first goal with the Monsters. Malcolm Sudan was in the net and had 22 saves. Saturday, they played the Rochester Americans and lost 4-3 in overtime. Luca Del Bel Belluz, Justin Pearson, and Travis Wolanski scored the 3 goals. Jet Greaves was in the net and had 32 saves. The Monsters' next games are Wednesday at the Rochester Americans and Friday at the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Pens. Saturday, they will play Lehigh Valley Phantoms. The Monsters are currently second in the North, 3 points behind Syracuse. And as a result of the Blue Jackets recalling Jet Greaves, the Monsters have recalled Pavel Kajan from the Cincinnati Cyclones. So hopefully they can get back to winning because their playoff chances are starting to dwindle. Not cool. Now, shout out to Larry B, who just joined us in the chat. He is the head honcho of IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. The Browns. There's not much going on with the Browns, but a couple of things were announced this past week. They released their off-season schedule. OTAs will be May 21st to May 23rd, May 28th to May 30th, and June 3rd to June 6th. Mandatory minicamp will be June 11th to June 16th, and rookie minicamp will be May 10th to May 12th. The Cleveland Browns Foundation Golf Tournament has been scheduled for June 3rd. And after the June minicamp, the team will disperse until training camp at the end of July. The first 10 days or so, that's the official statement from the Browns. The first 10 days or so will be at the Greenbrier again in West Virginia. Kevin Stefanski and select players will address the media on April 16th, and Andrew Berry will hold his pre-draft press conference on April 18th. So we'll finally get to hear from some of these guys and see them talk in circles around basically not saying anything. So, yeah. Andrew Berry will probably say, in so many words, absolutely nothing about his intentions for the draft, because that's what Andrew Berry does. Cleveland.com put out an article this past week comparing the Haslams wanting to buy land in Brook Park, Ohio to build a stadium to Art Modell moving the team to Baltimore. Now, just to put this in some perspective, we all know Baltimore is in Maryland on the east coast of the United States. Brook Park is literally a 10 to 15 minute drive from the current location of the stadium. So I see no comparison. However, after Art Modell moved the team, there was a law passed called the Art Modell Law that states that any team playing the majority of their home games in a stadium, arena, whatever, owned by the city, leased by the team, cannot leave the city. Period. So, things should get interesting if the Haslams choose to build that dome stadium and stadium city on that land in Brook Park. There is a way out. The Haslams will need to give 6 months prior written notice, and then they also have to make the team available for sale to any individual or corporation within the Cleveland city limits who wishes to purchase said team and keep them at the current stadium. So, it should get interesting over the next few months. Cleveland City Council made a statement yesterday. I have not had a chance to listen to it yet, but I did read the little blurps about what was said, and the Art Modell Law being mentioned was part of what was said, and basically that they're committed to keeping the Browns in Cleveland, blah, 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 blah. So, if you live in or near a large city, you know there are suburbs. So Brook Park is a suburb of Cleveland. If you were to, say, mail a letter to Brook Park, if you addressed it Cleveland, Ohio, and the Brook Park zip code, it will get to where you addressed it. So I don't see what the big hullabaloo is about over this, because it's really not that big of a deal and actually would make the stadium more accessible, because it would literally have a path or some sort of like ramp or walkway or whatever from the airport. It would also have accessibility from not one, but two public transit lines. And it's right off the highway. So I don't know why everybody's so up in arms about them not being in Cleveland, especially considering there are a number of NFL teams that are not in the city for which they are named. Buffalo, Dallas, Washington Commanders, to name a few. And then, of course, we have the New York teams that aren't even in New York. So it's really not that big of a deal. But I'm telling you, if you haven't seen it, you should check out Brown's Twitter, because there are a bunch of people all up in arms about this. 15-minute difference in location. 15 minutes. I'm not even kidding you. With severe crazy traffic, maybe 25. Not even a half-hour drive from the city of Cleveland. It's absurd to me. I don't know. But anyway, I'm getting off subject. Back to the Browns. They have signed cornerback Justin Hardy Sr., formerly with the Jets, and you may remember him from a little clip that leaked after the Browns-Jets game where the Browns clinched the playoff berth last season. He would be the guy whispering to Joe Flacco saying, "Bring my city a ship." So he is originally from Cleveland. He went to Glenville High School. So the Browns have brought Justin Hardy Sr. back home. So congratulations to Justin on returning to his hometown. Just one little note for college football. Ohio State yesterday hired former Oregon coach Carlos Lachlan as their running backs coach. Now for some soccer. On Saturday, the Columbus Crew took on Nashville SC. Rudy Camacho and Christian Ramirez were both out with injury. Cucho Hernandez was out. Not sure why. Nobody seemed to know. I listened to the entire broadcast of the match, and nobody seemed to know why he was not playing. So we'll keep an eye on that, because hopefully he will be playing tonight. Alex Matan is also still out with injury, and Derek Jones was out due to receiving the red card last week. Sean Zwodzki scored a goal at 16 minutes. Then Nashville scored a goal at 45 plus 3, and then another at 45 plus 8. And at the half, the Crew was down 2-1. Marino Henestroza scored a goal at the 79th minute. It was his first MLS goal, and it resulted in a draw of 2-2. The Crew's next matches are tonight against Tigres in the CONCACAF quarterfinals, and I just received a notification right before I got on the show that the game has been postponed. Kickoff is now set for 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It was supposed to be 7 p.m., but due to stormy weather, it has been postponed, so we will keep an eye on that. It may be delayed further because we are supposed to have some hellacious weather today. From what I saw on the last radar, it is probably for the most part going to miss where I am, but where the Crew play is right in the heart of where it's supposed to be the worst. So the match may not happen tonight, so we will see where things go with that. But as of right now, kickoff has been delayed until 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And on Saturday, the Crew will take on DC United. That is going to wrap things up for all things hockey, football, and soccer. I am going to take a short break, and when I come back, we will talk about some baseball. So stay tuned to the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, New York? This is Ricky K coming at you at the NY State of Sports, a new show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Listen to me every Thursday afternoon as we bring you the latest takes on the Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Nets, Rangers, Devils, and Islanders. Plus, you get some college hoops and what's the local sports events going on in the area. It's a state that never sleeps, so why not get the opinions and sports takes that never sleep? Again, every Thursday, 2 p.m. to the NY State of Sports. We'll see you then.
What's up, everybody? This is Taryn Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunder Spikes? Then I have the show for you, Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph DeLeese, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate, diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Injury Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports. And I will update you on all that's black and gold, have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph DeLeese, the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
You're back live with Jen B on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. So let's get into some baseball. The Guardians. So Miles Straw cleared waivers and was optioned to the minors. So he is playing in Columbus. I am kind of sad that he is not gone, but at least he's not with the Guardians. The Guardians also traded cash considerations to the Arizona Diamondbacks for right-handed pitcher Peter Strzelecki, and he was also optioned to AAA Columbus. And they traded international bonus pool money to the Texas Rangers for right-handed pitcher Zach Kent. Recently retired Michael Brantley and Corey Kluber are going to be throwing out the first pitch at the home opener on Monday, the 8th, next Monday. And the Guardians opened their season in Oakland against the Oakland A's. The starting lineup was left fielder Stephen Kwan, third baseman Jose Ramirez, right fielder Ramon Laureano, first base Josh Naylor, designated hitter David Fry, center field Tyler Freeman, second base Andres Jimenez, catcher Austin Hedges, and shortstop Brian Rocchio, and Shane Bieber was the starting pitcher. Also announced on Thursday, Trevor Stephan underwent surgery on his UCL and is expected to return to game activities in 12 to 16 months. Now, for the game against the A's. In the top of the second, Tyler Freeman had an RBI double. In the top of the fourth, Andres Jimenez had an RBI single. Then Austin Hedges had this weird play or weird infield hit that resulted in 2 runs scoring, but only one counted as an RBI. The other one was an error due to this crazy play at first base. They scored it as an error on the first baseman, but the throw was off mark. But the first baseman caught it and then tried to tag Austin Hedges, and when he tried to tag him, the ball flew out of his glove because Austin Hedges' leg hit his glove while he was running to first base, but whatever. Regardless, the Guardians got 2 runs out of it. Then Brian Rocchio had a 2 RBI double. Shane Bieber pitched 6 innings and had 11 strikeouts. And at the top of the 9th inning, Jose Ramirez had an RBI triple, and David Fry had a sacrifice fly, and the Guardians won 8-0. Friday, they again played the Oakland A's, and the starting lineup was left field Stephen Kwan, second base Andres Jimenez, third base Jose Ramirez, first base Josh Naylor, right field Will Brennan, center field Tyler Freeman, catcher Bo Naylor, designated hitter Estevan Florial, and shortstop Brian Rocchio. Starting pitcher was Logan Allen. At the top of the first, Jose Ramirez hit a 2-run home run. Josh Naylor scored on an error. The bottom of the 4th, the A's hit a solo home run. At the top of the 5th, Andres Jimenez had an RBI double. Will Brennan had an RBI single. The bottom of the 5th, the A's scored on a sacrifice fly. The bottom of the 6th, the A's hit a solo home run, and then Logan Allen was pulled. So he pitched 5 innings, had 3 strikeouts, and 3 earned runs. The top of the 7th, Andres Jimenez hit an RBI double. The bottom of the 8th, the A's scored another run, and the final score was 6-4 Guardians, and Emmanuel Clase recorded his first save of the season. Saturday, they again played the A's, and the starting lineup was left field Stephen Kwan, designated hitter Jose Ramirez, right field Ramon Laureano, first base David Fry, center field Tyler Freeman, second base Andres Jimenez, third base Gabriel Arias, catcher Austin Hedges, shortstop Brian Rocchio, starting pitcher last year's rookie sensation Tanner Bybee. At the top of the 2nd, Andres Jimenez had an RBI triple. Gabriel Arias had an RBI single. The bottom of the 2nd, the A's scored a run on a fielder's choice and then tied it up at 2. At the bottom of 3, Bybee walked a run in. Boo. The top of 4, Gabriel Arias had an RBI single. Austin Hedges, a sacrifice fly. Stephen Kwan, an RBI single. Will Brennan pinch hit for Laureano when the A's changed pitchers. At the top of the 5th, David Fry scored on an error. Austin Hedges had an RBI double. Tanner Bybee pitched 4 innings, had 4 strikeouts, 3 earned runs, and 5 walks. Not his best outing. Hopefully, it was just his, first game jitters. Hopefully that is not what we will see from him going forward. At the top of the 6th, David Fry had a sac fly. Tyler Freeman, an RBI single. At the top of 7, Stephen Kwan hit a solo home run. The top of 9, Jose Ramirez had an RBI single. David Fry also had an RBI single. And the Guardians won 12-3. Sunday, they again took on the Oakland A's, and I was hoping for a sweep, but it was not to be. The starting lineup was left field, Stephen Kwan; second base, Andres Jimenez; third base, Jose Ramirez; first base, Josh Naylor; right field, Will Brennan; center field, Ramon Laureano; catcher, Bo Naylor; designated hitter, Estevan Florial; shortstop, Gabriel Arias; starting pitcher, Cookie Carrasco. At the bottom of 1, the A's had an RBI triple and then an RBI single. The bottom of 3, the A's had an RBI single. Cookie was pulled after the 5th inning, and he had 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. At the top of 8, Gabriel Arias had an RBI ground out. Jose Ramirez had an RBI double. Josh Naylor an RBI single. And at the bottom of 9, the Guardians pitcher walked in a run for a walk-off walk. And the Guardians lost 4-3. Monday, the Guardians started a series against the Seattle Mariners, and the starting lineup was left field, Stephen Kwan; second base, Andres Jimenez; third base, Jose Ramirez; first base, Josh Naylor; center field, Tyler Freeman; designated hitter, Will Brennan; right field, Ramon Laureano; catcher, Bo Naylor; shortstop, Brian Rocchio; and starting pitcher was Tristan McKenzie, making his first start since his injury that took him out for a good portion of the season last year. At the bottom of the 2nd, Seattle had an RBI single and then a 3-run home run. At the top of the 3rd, Stephen Kwan had an RBI on a fielder's choice. Jimenez hit a sacrifice fly. At the bottom of 4, Seattle walked in a run. The top of 6, Tyler Freeman hit a solo home run. The top of 8, Josh Naylor hit a solo home run. And the Guardians fell just shy of the comeback and lost 5-4. McKenzie pitched 3 1/3 innings. He had 4 earned runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Eek. Not the greatest outing for the last 3 pitchers, but hopefully they will get back on track. And Shane Bieber is back on the mound tonight, where they will be facing the Seattle Mariners again, and also tomorrow. Then Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, they will be in Minnesota against the Twins. And Monday is the home opener against the Chicago White Sox. Now for some minor league baseball. Double-A, Akron Rubber Ducks opened the season on Friday. And AAA Columbus opened up the season on Saturday. They were supposed to open the season on Friday, but the game was canceled due to weather. Saturday, they played the St. Paul Saints and lost 8-1. Sunday, they played the St. Paul Saints again and lost 5-4. Juan Brito hit a home run, the first home run for the Columbus Clippers of the season. And the Clippers' next games are tonight, which will be their home opener. Well, maybe. We'll see how the weather, if the weather allows. And they are playing Omaha tonight, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then Akron opens the season on Friday against Altoona, and they will play them Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that is going to wrap things up for baseball and the show. So let's cue the music. Thank you for joining me, Jen B, tonight on the Show of the Land. Be sure to follow me on X, Instagram, and Threads at BelieveLandGirl, and on TikTok at Jen, JENN.BelieveLand. Also, follow the show for daily updates on Cleveland and Columbus sports on X at Show of the Land IE. Next up is the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bats for all that is Buffalo sports. Be sure to catch me next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on the Show of the Land for more on Cleveland and Columbus sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Have a great night, Ohio.